All right, surprise. I didn't plan on streaming this morning, but we gotta do what we gotta do. And I felt like, I want to make a stream in the early in the morning. So that's what we're gonna do. No, it's nothing serious. If anything, I hurt my voice yesterday, so I don't expect to do too much talking. Think of it more as a chill stream. A chill stream where I need to get some serious animatic animation process done. So that's what we're gonna do. Excuse my water bottle. I need to get a drink. And we shall begin. Okay, so this isn't the Ivar animatic I've been working on previously. We are now going to shift gears and work on a animatic for the Wolkas of the Stone. There's a couple reasons for this that I could get into later, but mainly I just need a long form content video to do. A lot of my stuff as of lately have been shorts, and while I do enjoy making YouTube shorts, I do have a fascination for the more complicated process of a longer video. More characters, you get more plane to work with, and personally to me, you get to see more animation, so that's what I decided to do. First, I gotta do these background characters, or rather, this is the foreground actually. Yeah, I don't typically do streams the minute I wake up, and that's for two reasons. One, I desperately need coffee. And two, I just usually don't have time in my schedule. That's why I usually wait for the evening. However, today, everything's been turned on its head practically, because now I need to get this done in the morning so I can have time to do something else in the evening. There's no particular design to any of these Wolkas, apart from the idea that they're of the Wolkas of the Stone. Oh, for those who don't know, these are my original species, known as Wolkas. I know, very creative. Wolf-cat hybrids, practically. But each species of Wolka falls under a category. There's the Wolkas of the Stone, who I'm drawing right now. There's the Wolkas of the Claw, Wolkas of the Crown, Heart, and Fang. I look at it a little similar to, what's a good word for it? Wings of Fire and their peninsula and how it's the shape of a dragon. Except in this universe, each of the Wolkas were named after a specific part of the god. Like the Wolkas of the Stone were named after the crescent of the moon, which the god holds. And then the Wolkas of the Crown were named after the holder of the moon, like its horns. And then you can kind of guess the rest pretty easily. Yeah, just a little lore snippet. Those will do. I think we should do the Wolka right here in the center. Her. Because she's going to be doing the most motion. Once again, I do apologize if I sound weird. My throat hurts really bad. I don't know what I did yesterday. I simply just choked on a piece of food, and ever since then I physically have been having a hard time talking. Yeah, so one reason why I won't, or I'm not working on the Ivar project today has a little bit to do with my own procrastination and a little bit to do with my time. It's because I really do like that Ivar project. It's a passion project of mine, something that I've been holding on to for the last few months. However, when it comes to uploading on YouTube, it has been quite a while since I've made an actual video to post. All my stuff has been short related, which in my opinion, there's nothing wrong with that, but the YouTube algorithm doesn't like inactivity. I know, it's kind of a brutal world for artists like you and me. We can't do daily uploads or hardly even weekly uploads. Sometimes if we have a backup, we can get lucky, but I'm not one of those people. What shape should we do for her little cheek floofs? Each Wolka has a unique ruffle, and I'm trying to decide if I want to do kind of like one of these shapes, make them sharper, but he already has that. We could do drooping. You know, I kind of like the droopy ones. I think we'll keep the droopy ones. So yeah, I just wanted to get this project on the chopping block as well so that I could get it done. Mainly because it's only about, I think, 2 minutes, and that might just be me being gracious. It's not nearly as long as the original Ivar project, so hopefully, fingers crossed, this will be done soon. No, I do not expect within a week. That's probably not going to happen. Maybe a couple weeks. Something I desperately need to work on is my procrastination. It's not even for normal reasons of where people say typically, like, I don't have any motivation to work on anything. I do have motivation to. Oh, hey, Josh. It's alright. But yeah, I need to work on my procrastinations because I have motivation to work on projects. I just have too many projects, I think. I just need to kind of sit down, pick one, and finish that one, and then carry that motivation into the next one. I will pray for you, Josh. We'll do it right now. Let this line art be beautiful. Do not allow Josh to mess up. May your art be worthy. There you go, we prayed for you. Good luck, Josh. And honestly, pray for me, I need this done sooner than I'd like. It was supposed to be done, I think, a week ago. Yeah, procrastination be getting me. We'll have to just go with that arm. Now this is going to be a little bit interesting. 6 more to go. Good luck. We wish you luck. I just started this project. I actually haven't counted the frames yet. I don't know how many we actually need for this one. I'll finish her crown, and then we'll go take a look. I think I want her to be the beetle crown. Yeah, I like the beetle crown. That's something else about the Wolkas in this universe. Each Wolka carries a unique crown set to them. If they're Wolkas of the stone, they carry a crown like this. Others just have normal horns, like goat horns, antlers. What's the other one? Bull. Yeah, bull horns. But the Wolkas of the stone have unique crowns. Oh, thank you. Yeah, the beetle crown is what she currently has. I don't think I still have the picture of the original crown sets they have. But I can kind of draw them out. Hold on, let's draw a little Wolka head and look at the crowns. Because I do think they deserve some love. Whoops, forgot to unlock the layer. So let's draw a quick Wokka. Cinema. And let's draw the crowns that would go on his head. We just saw this is the beetle crown. This would be the crescent moon that is the most like their god. It can be front or back, meaning it can face forward or it could come out the back. And now let's go over here. There's the altar crown, which kind of looks more like bull horns. It will sometimes form a bowl shape, or there'll be a third one in front of it. And then there is the one that doesn't have a name. I've always just dubbed it unicorn, because it's not quite altar shaped, but kind of forms a horn in the front. So those are the 4 crowns that I know of as of late. I'm sure there's others, but we'll see. Honestly, it's one of the fun parts about their designs. I get to kind of customize them as I go. Yes, we got another one done. Good luck, Josh. You're doing a good job. You're doing great. Okay, now that her crown's done, let's go check the amount of frames that still need to be done. They should be in my poster folder. I don't have designated folders for anything. I just kind of toss everything together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so there's well over 20. So who knows how many they're actually in there. We'll just grab the second one because I need to animate her. So yeah, I might be working on this for quite some time. Start with the eyes. Woo! 3rd one down. Josh is on a roll. I find doing outlines for animation takes... Sometimes it can be the fastest process you're working on. Like, I actually really enjoy outlining for this reason. Because I don't feel like I have to put as much thought in as I initially did when I did the sketches. But then you got frames like this one, where she just doesn't quite look right, so you have to keep going back and fixing it. We'll just go with that. We can always fix it at the end. That's something, again, I like about line arting, is that you can fix stuff later. Okay, I can't quite get this nose right. There we go. Oops, don't want that. Okay, so her mouth is coming forward, so we need to start opening the mouth for lip sync detail. I didn't try to do serious attention here with the lip sync. Not like the Ivar project. The Ivar project is going to be a lot smoother. But this one I figured that I could kind of relax a bit and not try and pressure myself into making it look 100% perfect. It's a desire of mine to actually return back to my roots and do more simple projects. Of course, I do still love being overly detailed with everything I work on. Woo, Josh is cooking. That's the 5th one done. Honestly, see, this is what I built this streams for, is just chatting and drawing. We should draw together. I don't like though the horns always make me scratch out some of the other designs. There we go. Okay, I don't actually know if her back matters all that much in that shot. This shot, considering that you can't really see it. Okay, we can't see it too well, so I'm just gonna go off the assumption that maybe I can be a bit looser on it. A little tip out there for people working on their own projects. If you don't feel as if this part of the character is even going to be seen in this shot, it might not matter all that much what it looks like. You can be a bit messier. Like, I can't be as messy of her arm because you're kind of going to see that. It's right in front of you. We'll clean up this little lip there. Alright, that'll be number 2. Oops, didn't mean to mess with the efficiency. There we go. So now let's number these real quick so we can remember who's moving. I actually haven't decided if Remus in the background should move. I guess that'll be a decision for a later date. He's the outline of the long guy right here in the corner. I'm mainly just focusing my attention on this one because she's going to be doing the most motion. I find that if we leave the background to last, it's like a nice break after doing the animation. I don't know, maybe that's just me. I like doing the hard stuff first, like the animation, get it out of the way, and then we move over to something more simple, like doing a still image in the background. That's not expected to move as much. I actually don't have a name for this one. She was supposed to serve as a background character, but I found that I draw her a lot when it comes to the conversations between these characters. More importantly, I wouldn't exactly say she's like the ringleader of this bunch, but she definitely has a bigger influence. And me, being the storyteller that I am, cannot help but give her some lore. I think we've all been there at some point in our lives, just giving characters unnecessary lore because we just can't help ourselves. And right now, I'm getting the impression that perhaps she has family in higher places, so it gives her this entitlement, where she thinks she knows everything about the world. And in fairness, amongst this group, she probably does seem like she knows everything. A lot of them have never been outside of the walls of their family home. Congratulations, Josh. They just finished their work. That was fast. Oh, thank you. Now, is her eyebrow moving at all in these sketches? It is a little bit. Maybe we should bring it down, though. A little too much. There we go. Yeah, but these Wolkas, a lot of them haven't been outside the walls of their family home, and I think she probably has, hence the expression. I said I wasn't going to talk very much this stream, but honestly, I can't help myself. Once I get started talking about character lore, I'm just one of those people. Ooh, that's really cool, Josh. I used to do traditional too, and sometimes I still do it. There's just something really satisfying about seeing something that you brought to life with your two hands on a piece of paper versus on digital. I think... Oh yeah, the shrimp posture. I understand. Yeah, I used to do a little bit of traditional. Most of the time I still use it for comics. They're not comics I planned on posting or anything, but they're just comics that I do for myself. I actually hope to work on one later this evening. I'm viewing it as a treat for myself for working on this project now. But you know, Josh does bring up a good point. I don't know why, but it just seems to be a constant threat amongst artists to have poor posture and a sore back. It's not like we're trying to. I mean, currently right now, I'm trying to improve upon that with using a desk, a makeshift lumbar pillow, which is nothing but a blanket, and an easel. And yet my back still hurts. I suppose that this is what they mean when they say that we suffer for our craft. We love the art, but it brings us so much pain, specifically back pain and arm pain. That's always my issue. Oh, thank you, Josh. Enjoy your eggs. And thank you, honestly, for spending the time to chat with me. Okay, so this should be frame 3 of Mystery Lady with no name. Maybe she'll have a name at the end of the stream. Maybe she won't. Honestly, I'll leave it up to the cards. If someone wants to name her, feel free to name her. Three, 4. There's number 4. I don't know why, but I'm leaning strongly to the name Bean, even though that does not fit her whatsoever. But I'm leaning strong to calling her Bean. Oh, hey! Robert, you mind I call you Robert? Nice to meet you. We are currently working with unnamed Wolka character from Wolkas of the Stone. We are voting on whether or not to call her Bean. It's a very unfitting name, but I don't think she deserves a fitting name. She's not being very nice to the other characters involved. Let me just draw her eyes. They're kind of like spacing out here a minute. Let me try and fix that. Eyes, man, they've always been the issue amongst my art career. Sometimes they're super easy to draw, and then other times they're not. Roberto. Alright, we'll just call you Roberto Carlos. Thanks for tuning in. So today's going to be pretty much a chill stream. I barely have the voice to talk, and I am talking anyway. How did her eyebrow get all the way up there? Sometimes I don't know if I think when I sketch. Sometimes I think I just throw something down and hope it works. Now, does that work for her eyes? Let's fill them in and see if they're more focused. That does work a little bit better. I might have to adjust it when it comes to the actual panel, but we'll see. That's just animation for you. Sometimes you really can't tell what's being drawn or whether it works until you have all the other frames up. Honestly, I could go with something to eat right now. All I've had this morning is a bowl of cereal and barely had enough milk in it. Now, how's this beetle crown gonna work? I guess we did it sideways. Let's move it back a bit because her head is turning. That looks better. Now to erase the fur inside the horn, because I want the crown to sit on the front of her face. Okay, now the neck ruffle's moving up. Yeah, just nothing but a bowl of cereal. It's a busy morning around here. I still actually gotta feed the dog. He'll probably be alright. Ireland, huh? Interesting. That reminds me, I was checking something the other day on my YouTube analytics. And for those who don't have a YouTube channel, what that means is pretty much you're just seeing the progress of your videos on long scales. And I found out there seems to be a large variety of people always tuning in the middle of the day. I don't know why I thought I should share that. It's just kind of interesting. There we go. That would be number 4. There we go. I kind of like that. We might fix the eyes on the 3rd panel, but let's go grab number 5. 3, 4, 5. Okay, so Bean, I guess we're going to be calling her. Bean is slowly going to be coming to a stop here, and her animation should become... Oh wow, 30 degrees Celsius. We are burning up here where I am. I think it was almost 100 the other day. It was bad. I should probably move that ear. I don't really like how squished her head is. Yeah, that works. Like it a little better than it was earlier. Except this cheek floof. I don't like how it looks. So let's fix it. That we'll have to wait till we see the next panel to really fix up the lines. Yeah, I don't use a proper animation software, so I can't look at all the frames at once. I can only look at one sketch frame at a time and do the line art for them. Hence why I say a lot that I need to go back and fix things. So it's only when I have them all up at once that makes it a lot easier. Let's move the eye over just a little bit more. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, might look a little crooked, but I think this is intentional because it's going to be slowly moving into her next face. I will try and correct some of it. Yeah, that looks a little better. These eyebrows. I'm not going to keep track of her eyebrows. The thing they don't tell you about animation. You're working on something 1 minute, and then the next second, all of a sudden, you have to work on something entirely different. Like keeping track of her eyebrows. Okay, I do not want to mess your name up, but you would like to teach how to live. Well, it's actually a funny story. I am operating from an iPad when it comes to my animations, drawing, whatever. I work from an iPad, so everything... Well, I don't want to insult you. Was there a name you would like to be referred to by? I don't want to get a user wrong. Well, yeah, I work from an iPad because it's easier on me. It's not as difficult. And it makes it so easier for me budget-wise because an actual animation software costs a lot. So I work from my iPad, which means the app I'm using to live stream is also on the iPad. It can be a little confusing at first, but once you figured out how it worked, it's pretty easy to do live streams from it. The app is called, you might be able to see it actually in the top corner. It should be a big purple square watermark that says Stream Champ. Well, and then you got all you need. You just need to be able to have a microphone, because while you don't necessarily need it to start, a microphone does sound a little nicer. But if you're not planning on talking through it, then you don't really need it. But yeah, I use Stream Champ to do live streams. The only issue I would say Stream Champ has is that it does have trouble connecting to the internet. So you do need a good internet service to stream. I would say mine's somewhere in the middle. It's nowhere near top of the line, but I've had moments where it will stall and not be as functional as it usually supposed to be. So that's something to keep in mind. All right. Yeah, if you're young, I would recommend, if you want to live stream, I would recommend you don't have to use a voice at all. You could just get some music like I did. You can just kind of hang out. I chose to use the microphone because, well, I had one on hand anyway, and I was like, you know what? I just want to blab for about 5 minutes about my characters. Which ultimately just turned into this. But in no way do you need your voice to stream. I actually got into watching art live streams through someone who didn't have a microphone at all. So it's definitely possible. Oh, wow. Here we go. Let's fix her eyebrows again. Let's get that nose. And there we go. She's looking a little bit more focused now than she did previously. I don't know what I was thinking in the original sketches. That might actually affect the rest of the drawing, but we will see. Gonna probably fix her teeth too. There we go. Oh, thank you. Okay, so I might move the ear again, but we'll see. What I like about having line art that isn't entirely complete, I can adjust it. Let's go back to the first position. There we go. I like the sideways ear a little bit better. And we'll extend this one as well. The tricky thing here is that her face is turning, so as a result, fur will move in a different direction. Might get puffier, might get closer to her face, it all just kind of depends. I kind of like the way it's moving right now. Let's do her shoulder next. There, she's looking nice. Now, one thing I didn't decide for, what did we decide to call her? I think we decided to call her Bean. Anyway, Bean over here. One thing I didn't decide for her was what shape the fur on the outside of her mane is supposed to look like. Oh wow, I'm seeing all kinds of people. There's someone here earlier from Ireland. Alright, let's finish the crown. And there we go. But yeah, I didn't decide what the mane on the outside of her neck was going to look like. It doesn't matter too much, but Wokas of the Stone do typically have an appearance to them that's unique to their own person compared to others. But not all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... I think you're 6. Yeah, because now we're going to be beginning the transition to the new expression, which should be a little easier. It depends on how you look at it. I've always liked transitional frames such as this because they allow you to be a bit more imperfect. You can stretch out the face, you can actually completely disregard the rules of animation for a moment. Kind of just let the frame speak for itself. I think they were originally called smear frames. Oh, interesting. Just be careful. I'm not gonna be out here being your parent, but being young on the internet can be a little scary. This is why I love smear frames. Absolutely adore stretching the face into what I would best fit the next panel. Now, hold on, I'll be right back. I need to check what time it is. I usually don't stream in the morning, so I need to keep track what time it is. I should probably go get my coffee. It's probably done about now. Okay, now we're going to go back to the weird squishy eyes. Because I actually think they fit better here in the smear frame, since she's going to be changing expression. Little tip for people out there with animation in mind. If you... What's a good word for it? I forgot where I was going with that. Oh yeah, if you want to change... Okay, we'll call you Zoe from now on. If that's alright. Hi, Zoe. Okay, so you have if you want to do animation and you want to change an expression, I've heard from other artists that it's a good tip to change the eyes mid-expression. Like, if you want to go from like a sad expression to an angry expression, have them blink. Because not only is it a good way to get blinking into a character, making them seem more realistic, but it also helps transition the face into a new expression from the one it was holding earlier. That's kind of what we're doing here. Bean, as we called her, is going to go from this really relaxed, confident face to an overly confident, almost mocking expression. So we want to make sure that she's blinking so that it seems a bit more realistic. Even if you're not doing a full-blown animation, this is just good tips to have in mind in general. Okay, actually, we're going to move her arm back, I think, a little bit. Oh, thank you. There we go. Now, the horns I don't think are going to squish as easily. Yeah, they're not going to squish as easily, so we're going to have to probably, like, make a semi-looking altar on her head instead. It should go back to looking like the Beal here in a second. Yeah, for those who weren't here earlier, we were discussing the crowns of the Wolkas, and each Wolka has a different shaped crown. Hers is named after a beetle, so it would be called the beetle crown. Yeah, look at her squished face. So now she'd be changing her expression for panel 8. Let's go grab 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. See, now it's really gonna squish. Smear frames. If you've ever watched a 2D animated movie, you'll see plenty of these. I mean, I think some of them are still used in animation today. They're just not as interesting as they were back then. Okay, so the reason why it was so interesting back then was people had to draw animations by hand like I'm doing, but on a piece of paper. So the smear frames they were all individually drawn out by hand by some artists at a table for hours, just to have the expression of a character turning, a character blinking, a character running. Where nowadays, everything's automated or used with 3D models. And while you can still achieve a smear effect like this, it's not going to look the same as it did when people used to do it by hand. There's just like a character to art that you can see in an artist when they draw something by hand. A lot of shows used to actually be also made by hand. Okay, now this, though, is where the blink is going to happen. See how her eyes are squishing? This would be the equivalent of a partial blink. We're trying to give the illusion that her eyes are opening and shutting as they're moving. Similar to how they would in real life. If you're turning your head, most of the time you blink. You don't always, but you do sometimes when you don't think about it. The problem with blinking in animation is that it's such a subtle behavior in a character. I am not going to share that online, Zoe. I apologize for that. I'm trying to remain as undisclosed if I can. It's about those things about being careful online. Sometimes your age is okay. For me, I'm just not comfortable sharing it, so. It's a personal preference of mine. Yeah, I liked the first movie of Moana. I think that was probably my favorite. Though actually, my favorite movie of all times would be... my favorite movie as of now, it always changes. My favorite movie as of now would probably be the really old Disney original, well, not original, but the Disney's film of 101 Dalmatians. That was probably one of my favorite movies. Okay, I will be right back. I'm going to go get my coffee because it is probably done. You all can just stare at the smear frame of animation until I get back. Alright, I have returned, and the dog has been fed. I am back, and I brought coffee. I'm actually trying out a different creamer now. I forget the flavor. I think it's frosted sugar cookie. It might sound really weird, but it tastes really good. Oh, thank you, Zoe. There we go. Okay, so that's kind of our partial blink. Her eyes aren't going to close all the way as they originally would, mainly because we're doing a little bit of a cheat here in animation, where we're giving off the appearance of her blinking so that we don't have to actually draw every single frame. Little animation tips is that if you don't have to animate all of it, you can find a way to shortcut it, which is what we're doing here. We're shortcutting the blink. Oh, is that so? Well, welcome to YouTube. Glad that we had the opportunity to introduce you to the world of art and animation. Okay, now we've got to fix Bean's expression here, because she'll be now a lot wider of eyes. I'm not sure how I feel about the large eyes in the Wookas. Yeah, being a YouTuber, yeah, especially of art, it's a challenge. Honestly, my piece of advice for getting started is just create what you love. Whether that be your own original characters, fan work, whatever. Just create what you love. Because the worst thing we can ever do is get caught up in thinking we need to create for other people. It's the whole reason why I made this channel, for drawing my OCs. A lot of people say that you can't build a following or draw attention easily when you draw your own characters, because they're not as popular as characters from, like, say, Moana, for example, or the 101 Dalmatians movie. They're not famous characters, they're your characters. But I didn't want to draw for other people, I wanted to draw for me. And if other people... Oh, thank you. If other people find joy in those characters or the art, well, then that's just a bonus. At the end of the day, you want to draw for you and what you love. Though if that does happen to be fan art, that is also just fine. There's a couple bits of fan art that I would actually like to draw. But usually I just draw that stuff in my sketchbook. Okay, so this is actually almost finished. At least Bean anyway. I haven't got to Remus in the background yet. But Bean's range of motion is almost finished. And then we can actually check it out in our playback. You know, I just realized I think I curved the beetle crown a second ago. I might fix that, I might not. I'll just see what it looks like at the end. Originally, it should look more like little teeth. Like this. Little teeth on the top of her head, like goat horns almost. Let's find poster. There it is. And that's the last frame of Bean's motion. She has finally come to a stop. Yeah, probably don't have much else to actually do with these frames, but we'll see. Oh, that video? That's from a series I made a while back called Make Your Comic Today. It's an encouraging series following the documentation of my webcomic. The reason why it says that is a little trick of YouTube, if you will. I wouldn't exactly call it clickbait, but it's to engage the attention of your audience with something shocking. And in this case, when it came to actual comic making, it was referring to the time where I didn't have the motivation to make comics anymore. And then I debated quitting. Oh, thank you. But yeah, that's why it says that. I don't know if I like those teeth. Let's fix this. There we go. I don't know when Bean got a mohawk, but we're just gonna leave it at that, her spiky hair. I probably should have moved her shoulder, but I think it's fine. Let's do the back of her fur. Okay, actually we need to move the back a bit. There we go. Okay, so this should wrap up the first motion of this panel. Oh, never mind. We gotta do the crown first. Almost forgot the beetle crown. Yeah, kinda. Sometimes what you have to do with YouTube. Not exactly tricking than it is engaging. Alright, there we go. So this is our process of animation. Now we get to put it all together and see if the motion works. There should be 10 frames. The bottom ones don't count because they're going to be in the foreground. But we can bring them up if we want. So that we can look at them. Okay, whoa, way too fast. Let's slow that down. Okay, quick disclaimer to anybody watching. If you have sensitivity to any flashing motion, please click away now. Animation can be a little tricky, and I do not want to affect sensitive viewers. Okay, yeah, they did kind of curve inward, like towards the middle of things there. I don't think it matters too much because they're kind of still doing the same thing. Okay, there's a little bit of a jump in the fur. I might go back and fix that later. See, there's that little blink in the middle of the motion there. Okay, yeah, it is really rough. Let's fix the back of her neck. Try and make it look a little cleaner. This is just our first pass after all. See where it has them. Okay, so it jumped out here. That's a problem. Let's pull down all the frames and take a look at this one individually. I wonder if I could just take the piece and move it. That is also an option. Have to be a little careful here. Yeah, it really is. So there's animation can be a little messy. Okay, so yeah, it does need to be a little closer. That's a lot better close to the line, so. Okay, real quick, I need to grab something. Whoa, almost dropped my Apple Pencil. Apologize for that. My other screen almost died. I have to have 2 screens up for this. Well, you don't have to have them up, but I have them up. You don't want the battery going off in the middle of stream, though. That's catastrophic. Good thing we're pretty much done here. The stream will probably end here soon, so I can get this thing charged. But I will try and fix up the main first. Gonna try and get these lines a little closer. They don't have to be exact, but they do need to be cleaner. The shoulder moved a lot too. We should probably look into that next. Okay, let's grab a couple frames. A little better. Okay, let's grab the whole thing again. No, I don't really think I'm ever gonna do a face reveal. Just one of those things that have never really interested me. Okay, it's the shoulder next that needs to be fixed. Yeah, it does a lot of moving. Maybe if we... Yeah, let's fix this shoulder. Take all the panels down again. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. Now we can concentrate just on this one spot. Though I do believe we will have to save the rest of this animatic for another stream. My time is up, and I gotta get going. Thank you so much for spending the time to chat with me, and to everyone else who tuned in. It was a wonderful stream, and honestly, I might consider streaming more in the daytime. It was a little bit better than waiting till the afternoon to do it. So once again, thank you all for watching, and keep making stories. And I will see you in, not the next stream, but probably a week after. So 2 weeks. I will see you in 2 weeks. Goodbye.